Hey YouTube, today I'm going to be doing my deck profile, my new Spikebrother deck. It's been a long time since I've done a Spikebrother deck. I don't remember actually if I've ever had a completed Spikebrother deck before. The only previous deck that I had was kind of a hodgepodge of a bunch of different grade 3s like Demonic Deadly Emperor and Reckless Express. Or no, not Reckless Express, that's a grade 1. Juggernaut Maximum. And a couple of the other random common ones. But this deck is a little bit more consistent since I pulled a ton of these. If you were watching my unboxing of Triumphant Return, the King of Knights, you would have seen that I pulled a ton of Spikebrother grade 3s, including the Brake Ride and the new Grateful Catapult guy, as well as Cheerful Marilyn. So I have a bunch of them now, to the point where the deck is pretty much a complete Spikebrother deck from a staple card standpoint. So here's what we got. For the starters, I went with Reign of Terror from BT10. Originally I was running the Mecha trainer, basically the football announcer guy. I've been running that guy in all my Spikebrother decks since I first built the deck. So I finally decided to go with a new one. So I went with Reign of Terror. He's pretty good. I like him because he doesn't have a Counter Blast effect and he doesn't have a Soul Blast effect. And really you want to save up those effects. You want to save up your Counter Blast for your grade 3s, and you want to save up your Soul Blast for your grade 2s or your grade 3s, depending on what you're running. So I went with him. And then 4 Cheer Girl Tiara, 4 heals, 4 Cheerful Lynx for draw power, and then 4 Sonic Breaker and 4 Silence Joker. So 8 critical. So this deck is all about rushing and trying to beat your opponent before they can go into late game with either their Limit Break 4s or their Limit Break 5 end games like Platina Ezel, for example. So you try to win the game as fast as you can. That's the goal of Spikebrothers. You try to rush and you win as fast as you can. For grade 1s, well, I kind of have these in a weird order, but I have 2 Dudley Phantom. He's the new Dudley grade 1 from Triumphant Return, and he is pretty good so far from what I've tested. He's your 10k booster. The nice thing about him, he can boost any Spikebrother, and at the end of the battle, put this unit on the bottom of the deck. So he goes away, but you can choose, based on the situation, whether you want to have him boost for 10k or not for that turn. So he's pretty decent tech. And then 4 Wonder Boy, 8k vanilla in a rush deck. This is essential. 4 Medical Manager. He's a 7k booster, and he's your typical Feluca. You place him on rear or R, and you VRR, or you soul charge 1. So the deck is very reliant on soul charging, so that's why I'm running 4 copies of this. 1 Reckless Express, just for early try to get as much damage in as you can. If you don't have any grade 2s, or if you don't have enough grade 2s to make a good column, this guy can basically him with medical or him with Wonder Boy is already like a super column right there. And then 4 Cheer Girl Marilyn Sentinels. I pulled my original one from BT2 way back when it came out, and then I have the 3 new ones. Grade 2, 3 Highspeed Brakki, because he's a Soul Blaster, not a Counter Blaster. So still running 3 of him. Really good for getting over 20k and applying pressure to your opponent, and then running away and then coming back later. And then 2 Fearless Leader Zachary, same thing as Brakki basically. The only difference is Brakki powers up, and this guy, I believe you draw a card. Yes, you draw a card. So he doesn't power up, but he gives you hand advantage. So he's more defensive and he's more offensive. So the deck is offensive based, so I run 3 of him and only 2 of this guy. Next, the new and probably one of the best grade 2s they have, Dudley Mason. He is your counter blaster, but he's counterblast 1 and put a Spikebrother from the hand in the soul. So he basically, it's like counterblast 1, soul charge 1. Well, it's not really soul charging, but he builds the soul, which is important, so that Brakki and the others that soul blast Reckless Express, they can use their effects. So he's pretty essential to the deck, so that's why I'm running 4 of him. He also keeps the attacks going because he calls units to the field to open R, so you get more attacks in. And then 1 Treasured Black Panther, just the standard 10k vanilla. I'm just running 1 in here just for stability for the deck, because they're all like 9k, all the grade 2s except for him. So you just kind of, if you have him in your opening hand, you're gonna want to ride him for that Vanguard purpose, and then later on, or you don't have to. You can ride him. It just depends. Whatever. It depends on if your opponent, what your opponent is running really. So just put 1 in it, kind of like as a tech position or a placeholder. Mainly because I don't want to always have nothing on the field, because a lot of these guys, they tend to go back into the deck at the end of the turn. So because he doesn't have an effect, he gets to stay. For grade 3s, fairly simple. 4 Bad and Dragger. This is your brake ride, and he's a pretty decent brake ride, and he's really easy to get a hold of because he's a double R. So similar to Tachikaze, Spikebrothers and Tachikaze are kind of in that budget line where they don't have a lot of triple R cards. Most of their main vanguards and rear guards are all going to be like a double R or lower. So 4 of the brake ride, and then 4 Grateful Catapult. He's the main guy. Originally, I wanted to run Demonic Dudley Emperor and Juggernaut Maxim along with this guy, or possibly run like 9 grade 3s. But the reason why you have to run 4 of this guy if you actually want to use him effectively is because he is a Persona Blast. He's Persona Blast, so in order to actually use his effect, you're going to want to run 4 copies of him. So that's basically my Spikebrother deck at the moment. The nice thing about it is that it actually it's a budget deck, but yet it has 4 Sentinels. So for those of you that are starting Vanguard, if you want a competitive deck for cheap, I would say Spikebrothers is a good option. It may not be the most popular deck because they don't have that cool factor. It's not like the main character in the anime uses them or anything. But if you're getting into Vanguard, it's a good way to start. And the deck is actually pretty good. It can win a lot of matches. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks.